Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to We Need to Talk About. And this is episode 3 with your favorite girls, Femi and
Eniola. Yay! Drum roll!
Okay. All right. Back to it. So this week, we'll be reviewing 3 movies, right?
Yeah.
Love and Basketball,
American Gangster,
and Heat, starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. And we're very excited to, talk about our feelings about these movies because I have a lot of feelings, especially about Love and Basketball. But, we'll get into that, much later.
Maybe just to start by saying Love and Basketball films. I mean, it came out like what? 2000, right? I probably was 15 or 16, thereabouts.
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys guessing my age, Lady can't say these things. I was probably,
I think you're
16, 17.
Give it out.
Yeah, but now I'm saying different things now so people can
right.
guess. And I'm just like, all that romance going on in the movie. What was I even thinking? Because I was a child.
Yeah, because watching it again recently, it's like unlocking new levels of secrets in this movie.
And to think Hall was there all along,
and we didn't realize.
Yeah, but girl, she don't crack at all.
No. Black don't crack.
Black don't crack. Okay, so really quickly, we're just going to go through the synopsis, right?
Okay.
This whole story, this whole love story, because Love and Basketball, really black movie, but it's all about love, romance, you fighting for your passion and all of that, right? So Monica and Quincy, in the movie it was called Q. They became childhood friends. And
when they moved across.
Yeah, when they moved across each other, aspiring to be basketballers, really, Monica being the first female to be drafted into the NBA.
Yeah, that was
and
her
then
dream.
Of course Q, because he was following his father's dream. Zeke, who was also a professional b-baller as well. Monica, I think the only thing I could think about for Monica on this end was the fact that Monica was overly emotional. Q
she
himself,
was a teenager though.
Yeah, so, he was overly emotional, and I just think that. Okay, back to the synopsis before we go into it, right? Okay. So overly emotional. Q, who is Omar Epps.
Yeah.
He was a natural talent, fly boy in school.
I thought he was all that, so gosh.
And they were friends and gradually they became lovers. But this entire story just shows us how their love for basketball and the journey towards their love for basketball almost threatened to tear their love apart. And I think they were apart for a bit, Sha.
Yeah.
So it took them about over 5 years. So let's start with the good parts. I don't even think he has any bad parts, Sha. So Femi, let's go.
What do you mean he has? First of all, the bad parts. Not about the movie. Not like the movie has a bad part, but like the parts where I did not like in the movie was when when he found out that his dad actually impregnated that lady, right? And then he wanted what's her name, Monica, to to comfort him, but then she had to go because she had curfew.
Exactly. And
if she didn't meet her curfew, then she wouldn't have been able to start on the next game. And he was really salty and he was giving her attitude and all of that, like being in his feelings, and then just making her feel bad about choosing basketball over him. But in that moment, like, you should realize that was her passion, right? I mean, do you have what do you think about?
I don't know. So, okay, just a bit of a background, right? So Q, b-baller, everybody loved him. They just got drafted to USC. They were on some sort of basketball scholarship in uni. So Q was having a great time, just being the baller of the year in school, and then she had to struggle.
Exactly.
So I get that, right? But one curfew missed doesn't mean the end of the world. Your boyfriend was literally in his feelings.
His feelings about something that his dad did
over him.
Come on.
No. there's more to life than. Yes, there's a part about passion, but there's more to life than.
No, but I mean,
your
I
passion.
think we should have to think about it from like, the female perspective. Again, black, right? So like, when did she think she was ever going to get another opportunity to start? And she already had this whole altercation with the sophomore in the locker room. It's like, don't let a freshman take your spot. And so she needed to prove herself, right? And he should have understood, not being salty and being in his feelings.
Well, see what now happened now.
What happened?
He was the relationship now.
Well, and again, it was his fault, right? Because he was selfish, and then he was also narcissistic and manipulative.
Fair.
No, it's true. So that time where she caught him, where they had that party in some
I think he was trying to get her attention. Bad move, wrong move. He shouldn't have done that,
he
right?
now done everything against her.
We're talking about kids here, right? They were in uni. They're probably 19. What they know? What did you know when you were 19? What did you know when you were 19? So look, I'm all about the girl and her passion and all of that, right? But I'm also trying to stand in his shoes. He really needed her at that point in time. And his hurt couldn't allow him, blinded him from seeing how selfish he was to request, to make that sort of yes.
Her. I mean, again, like you said, he was a kid, she was a kid. So,
exactly.
They could have, I don't know, found a way around it. I'm able to give context around this part where I said he was manipulative, right? It was when she was rightfully mad at him for giving her attitude, right? And then, she goes to this party, she sees him, talking with this girl, them being all, flirty and flirtatious and just being all over each other. And then, I think she gets mad at him, and then he now gets mad at her, right? And says, where were you when I needed you the most? And then all of a sudden he's now said, he wants to break up, that he doesn't think.
But that's not what happened. No, Femi, back up a bit. Back up, right? No, back up a bit, because, in between then, right? Mm-hmm. When he came to that party, she was supposed to have gone to his house to go and see him.
But she did.
No, she had gone out with her friends first
because
after the game.
They won.
And missed his own game and then didn't go to see him. So you see, it's easy for us to judge because we're not there, right? If they were really, really, truly, truly real people, the person that wrote the movie, I've forgotten her name now.
Yeah.
She says it's a semi-autobiography of some sorts, right? Okay. Of her life. So maybe like snippets of her life and all of that, right? Yeah. Put yourself in Q's shoes. In Q's shoes as well.
No, sorry, I can't.
It's unfair.
I'm a woman.
His dad, the person that he modeled his life.
Cry me a river.
Yeah. He was shocked, he was disappointed, and so I don't think that it was just because she didn't wait for him till past curfew, right? It was also the fact that after curfew, then by this time she had become like a big shot, and then she was still crying a river, and she was having fun with her friends. When she won the game, she could have freed them now and gone to look for her boyfriend.
But she managed her time properly, right? She went out to celebrate, and then she left them at some point.
Fair, but
and
she missed his game as well. Considering the fact that that
how many games of hers did he miss?
They didn't show us that one. Don't let's be judging like that. They didn't show us that one.
But we don't know. He might have missed some games too.
They did not show us that one in the movie. Let's be thinking for them. They didn't show us. What they showed us in the movie was that she missed his game, and he said something, right? I know you're going to argue about this. He said he never would have to choose between her and basketball because he already knows what that choice would be, which I felt was
yeah, but I feel like he should have also considered her rights, because he knew where she was coming from. And he could have also put that into consideration.
Now, since both of them did not consider each other, now they broke up for 5 years and then came back later where she was now saying, I've loved you since we were 11 years old, and that shit won't go away. Oh, shit.
No, but why I wanted to talk about, this manipulation thing, because clearly it's really resonating with me, right? Do you
want us to go personal, darling?
No,
what's going on?
Wait. So it's like she was mad at him, right? Mm-hmm. Rightfully. And then he now turned it back to her. And I said, oh, it's because, you know, you were not there for me. And then he now said, I can't do this anymore. You know, I don't want a relationship anymore. Yeah. And then she now went into fixing mode. Like, oh my God, we can't fix this. We can't do this.
No,
but
she,
it's like,
I think
you
she
were just
even
mad
said,
at him.
I think she said something around.
You made him manipulate you. Like,
no, she said something around. Is there anything I can do to fix it? Is that about to vex? She just said, is there anything I can do? I just said, shoo. Same old mistake. It's always your fault, right? But to be honest, right, without arguing, right?
Yeah.
50-50, they were both at fault. Yeah, I think we could agree on that one at least, Femi.
Okay.
I don't think that the guy was all that bad. It was both their faults. Not mature enough to handle such a situation.
Yeah.
But please, did you see Gabriel Union?
Yeah. I mean, the body banging though. But
banging, no, and still banging till this day.
So their first kiss when Maxwell's This Woman's Work came on. Oh my God! Like these people were in high school.
They wanted to finish me.
These people were in high school. Whoa! Why did they have to play that type of music? First of all, and then we go when we were that age. Like, what did we know was This Woman's Work?
I think, oh my God, it was too romantic for me. Even watching it again, and that's why they wanted to finish.
If you are single, don't watch this movie because you know if you're looking for somebody to go and. Sorry, maybe my mom is listening to this, so let me not say anything.
Okay, but I think the reason it was that intense was, did you know that shortly before they filmed the movie, right, Omaya Sans and Lathan were dating?
Oh, I know when that the chemistry was.
It was off. Even the intense gazes they used to give each other, like, you know, really know.
That's cute.
Exactly, yeah, they're dating.
So I want to talk about something again about the movie, right? You know, when Monica and her mom were, you know, when she was much older. And she went back to visit. And then she and her mom, you know, they got into this altercation and she called her mom prissy, you know, because she didn't want more. And it was clear that, you know, Monica resented her mom, right, for not going after her ambition, for just, you know, choosing to stay at home, to look after the kids and not, you know, doing stuff for herself because, you know, her father said so. What do you think about that? Oh, and then she also felt like she didn't care about her sporting career, right? Because, you know, she wanted her to be like she wanted her to be more ladylike, and she was complaining about, oh, why are you being such a tomboy and all of that. So, what do you think about that?
You know, it's sad, but you'd realize that sometimes that happens with the proverbial mom and daughter relationship, where your mom is struggling to model you, maybe to be a Proverbs 31 woman, for example, you know, and every other dream sometimes might seem untowards, like, because for her, in that time, in that climb, you know, the idea was for you to go to school, to go to college, study to be a lawyer, a doctor, and then get married and start pumping out kids. And then this child,
a homemaker.
Exactly. Then this child wanted to be a big baller. And you know, even the way she was dressing up, you know, deep in the woman's mind though, the woman probably thought that this girl, are you sure she likes boys? I'm sure that's where it even started from. Yeah. To be honest. Just because she didn't even like wearing dresses and all of that. And Monica, on the other hand, resented her mom because she felt like her mom had, or she felt like she had an idea that, you know, her mom could do so much better. So much more, Her mom could be a caterer. Her mom could, you know,
be more ambitious.
Yeah, be more ambitious, right? And then, you know, the fact that her mom was just always ironing and doing all of those stuff, it just looked like NFA.
Yeah,
you didn't even have any future ambition, right? And then mother, on the other hand, is looking at her and saying that this one is very ungrateful. I literally had to step back from my dreams to take care of you guys. You guys, for the lack of a better word, are my KPIs.
Yeah, right.
And your success is my deep dive. Your success is my achievement, right? And I think that was why they didn't agree. Because Regina Hall, I can't remember her name in the movie now, but Regina Hall was a bit more like her mother's dream. And
like the girly type.
Monica was a bit
makeup,
foreign to her. She's like, how can it be that this child came from my loins? This child, and you're my child, and this is, and you're so beautiful, and this is how you choose to just go about your own. So I think, and it happens, right? Sometimes mother and daughter relationship.
True.
I think it happens more when you're a teenager, though, when you're just arguing with your mom anyhow you like.
Because then they think that, and you know everything, and
your mom is like, what? Mama Kweni. I will not allow you to go. I will not allow you to go in the way of the devil.
But the soundtrack, though, it had all those, nice old school jams, Guys, we're Gen Z, but, we just know this. All these.
But you're not Gen Z.
Okay, sorry.
Just stick with the fact that you're a millennial.
Love and Basketball is a movie that everybody should at least watch once in their lifetime. Because, it explores love, ambition, trying to find your identity. I also like the pursuit of your dreams, right? Like, what would you sacrifice to, achieve your dreams and to achieve your goals, right? Because I think in the end she said that, she wouldn't have chosen him or something. So.
No. I think what she said was that, so she stopped playing basketball to go and be an accountant. And then he was like, your life is basketball. And she said, without you,
because it was
without you there's no basketball.
Right? So, and then it's like, so why did she even have to, why did she feel like she needed to choose between him and basketball, right? Like, you can have everything, like you can have it all, so you don't have to choose.
But the end showed that
you can have it all.
But you just need to be able to make compromises, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, so Love and Basketball stars Sana Lathan, Omar Epps,
Gabriel Union,
Alfred Woodard,
Boris Kojo.
Oh yeah, that's true, Boris Kojo, Regina Hall, and a host of other like prominent black actors and actresses. So it's definitely a must watch, whatever gen you are, Gen Z, millennial, Gen
More
X,
like an 11 over 10.
Yeah,
it's good.
Okay. So enough about love, guys. Enough about love. Let's go into
Why are you singing? What's going on? It's because of Denzel.
Yes.
My Denzel.
The Rock Boys in the building tonight. Making that feeling. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to sing a song from the soundtrack of American Gangster.
So I'm just going to go straight into it. And then I'm sure we can pick up a bit of the story as we go along. But pretty much it's the rise of Denzel, because I would just like to call him that.
Rise of Denzel, Frank Lucas.
Because that's what's in my brain. The Frank Lucas story. It's a true story, right? And Frank Lucas died, I think, 2019 or 18 or something about that time. Story of an American gangster, his rise to prominence, to fame, and the fact that he was the black guy that was running things even above the Italian mafia during that time. And even though it's obviously you're not supposed to hail him, but Frank Lucas, as far as I was concerned, was more like a don. Like, wow, if only he could have focused his energy on more positive things.
Like what? In those days?
He would have made it now. Because
How?
see all the technique, the logic in moving coke. Not coke, what was it? Meth?
It was coke. It was cocaine.
Was it heroin?
Booger sugar, yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is there?
It was, yeah.
Coke, was it coke?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving that
straight from Vietnam.
Cutting off
the middleman.
Yeah, exactly, right. So he could have done anything.
Yeah, but like what?
But he chose the life of crime. So in that, you can't really hail him as much. But you just be like, but boy, you have sense, right?
Yeah.
And you secretly are just proud of him, like, see how he just finished everybody and he just moved to the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his story really, and how, you know, he survived.
Yeah.
He was a success, and at the end of the day, they caught him and he went to jail. And when they caught him, he became an informant.
Yeah,
and you know the
ratted
story
out
just
the police.
yes,
Yeah,
and all of that.
So I just want to draw parallels, you know, between him and the policeman that was, you know, trying to get him right. So they were both, you know, the best in their field. Like, he was a great detective. Frank was also a great, you know, businessman. Yeah. But then one thing that I also noticed was that they were both shit partners, right? Like, so Frank was, you know, he wasn't really nice to his wife or his girlfriend. His wife, Miss Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, on the other hand, the detective, he wasn't really a great husband, because he was filing for divorce from his wife, because she was complaining that he was never around. He was never there for his kids. And, you know, that's what you find with, you know, detectives that are always hunting, you know, going after like the next criminal. You know, they devote all their lives to, you know, catching that next criminal, and they don't really care about, you know, their family and all of that. So, and then, you know, on the other hand, you know, we have Frank Lucas as well, right? Like, he was all about, you know, trying to make money, trying to be the top of his own in his own industry, you know, going around killing people, but not really being like the best husband, because I feel like his wife was lonely.
Did you think so?
Yes.
I think he still kind of loved his wife more than he went to save her in that car. Now they were going to
come on, she's his wife. They were going to kill her. I mean, that's the least he could have done.
I think he did like her. You know why? He did really like her, because his MO was to be very what's the word now? Very low key.
Yeah, very, very low key.
Right?
Yeah.
And then she bought him that
chinchilla coat.
That chinchilla coat. And then everything went downhill from there, right? So I think he loved her. But he was just too business savvy.
Yeah, and too disciplined. It was all about the principles.
I liked the fact that he was disciplined, because that's what made him a success. Yeah. I also like the fact that, you know, he tried to take his family out of the hood as well. Yeah, that was a good thing. Yeah,
it backfired though.
And but come on, Denzel, I'm going by. He's got Reese. That guy, he's swag.
Sherry's
Reese. It's Reese now, guys. That's what's short for charisma.
Yeah,
but he's got it now. He's got charisma. But that's Denzel. You know, I could go on and on. I think we should do like an episode where we talk about Denzel all of Denzel and all of his movies and all of that, right? But the movie just shows that if you focus, you're tenacious. Right.
Giving us words.
And you're passionate about what you do, you go straight to the top of right? You go straight to the top, right? And at some point he was so you know, he was moving the coke through coffins of dead.
The military. Yeah, he was using the military. Yeah, I mean,
he was using the military. Yeah. And then when they now stopped, when they moved out of Vietnam, then he started passing it through coffins. That
was the last.
That's what they showed us now, because in the movie they won't show us everything. But then if you do like a back end story, although
he was using
they later denied that and all of that, but I really think he probably did that right, because he was pushing coke at least after the Vietnam War as well, right? And he must have been doing it somehow.
Okay, I thought everything ended.
No,
when they pulled out, and then, you know, because that was when he got arrested, right?
That's when he got arrested. But I think he had already moved some before now, because I'm not sure that they want to.
Yeah, I think the last shipment he told the guy was like 1,000 keys or 2,000 keys.
2,000 keys or something.
Which would have definitely lasted him a lifetime. I mean, his lifetime. And
that's what Kobaji literally, right? But all in all, you know, great movie. I liked all of the parts where he just dispassionately was just killing people.
Like just when he killed,
he didn't even send
Idris Elba's character, because he was asking for 20% of the profits. It's like, okay,
but you know, if you watch from the beginning, Idris, he was also like a big boy.
Yeah, he was on the same scale as the bumpy, like Frank's Oga at the top as well. So, I mean, we have quite a number of celebrities in this movie. We have T.I., we have Common, you know, we had Chiwetel, even Idris Elba, Josh Brolin, Russell Crowe,
and
then our main man, Denzel. Washington.
Did you see when he beat up his brother? You know that scene where he put coke in the car,
right?
And he was driving his brother. He was driving Frank Lucas, and then that dirty cop.
Don't you have sense?
But did you like the part where, when the dirty cop found the car? Then, obviously they had to do one thing, to know that, okay, I'm going to bribe you later.
Yeah.
And then his brother was like, I'm sorry, Frank. And then he goes, yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, right?
It's okay. And then he entered the car, shut the door.
And he gave him the brushing of his life.
Yeah, that was good.
I think that's a good lesson in, I'm going to go official, right? In like management, right? Like, you don't throw your people under the bus in front of like a third party or a stranger or an external person. So obviously you say that everything, all is well, all is good.
All right, but
when you get home, you just go and spank. I think our mothers even used to do it for us. Like when we go out and then you misbehave, they just give you one eye shark.
And if you don't catch the eye, and they are giving you the eye, and they're still giving you the eye, just know that you're dead.
Obviously, they're not going to spank you in front of everybody. You know that when you get home, you don't be. Clearly, I have enough experience in that area, so it's okay. What else about the movie? So I really like the part where this other guy, Frank, some Nikki person was poisoning Blue Magic, right? Because Blue Magic was the name of the product.
Yes, who was that? That was Cuba Gooding.
Yes, Cuba Gooding. So his character was poisoning the product, right? And people were dying. So then Frank goes to meet him and says, Blue Magic, it's a brand. Yeah. I stand by it. I guarantee. Like, those post sand in my Gary, better give yourself sense. Like, what are you doing?
Give it another name. At least.
Yeah,
how dare you?
Red Magic. And the guy was like, that's not going to work. But yeah, I like the fact that, Frank was able to stand by his product, right? Because, come on, cannot come and mess with what I'm doing.
With my product, right?
Yeah.
Please, people that do the franchising kind of business, learn from this. Don't let a franchisee, is it a franchisee or a franchise? So whatever it is, figure it out. But what we're saying is, don't let them mess up your brand.
Your brand, right?
Yeah, because you're trying to. Yeah, it's very important.
I mean, and he has put so much into it, right? So, okay, so just personal story about this movie. So I watched this with an ex, right? And
why are you always watching all your movies with an ex? What's going on?
Anyways, he was Jay-Z did like a whole album for this movie, and obviously we went to watch it because he was like a diehard Jay-Z fan, right? So but actually I think when I watched it back then, I think I slept during the movie because it was really long. And I was like, what are they doing here? But watching it again recently, I was like, oh, okay, this was a gem. And even though it was over 2 hours, it moved by really quickly. Like normally I'll have paused the movie like 5 times to do one. But like I watched it, from start to finish, no breaks, no nothing. That's how intriguing and captivating, the movie was. So yeah, I would definitely say you should watch it if you haven't watched it
again. Yes,
it's one of those
oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
You can watch it again.
I mean, if you like Narcos, like all the Narcos movies, if you're always rooting for the bad guy, that is somewhat a good guy, Sha.
Yeah, a bad guy that is somewhat a good guy. No, but really, it really wasn't. Because Coke was doing more harm than good. It still is, I think the only thing that just made me root for him was the fact that, then just to be a black man to be successful was something very difficult to do. And in that climb, he was able to move past drug families that have been doing it for
a
years,
long time,
right? But in terms of hailing him that he was good, nah, not really. He wasn't a good person because people were overdosing on this thing as well.
Well,
still, Femi.
Well, he was meeting a demand. That's really what it was, right? He was meeting a demand, and it was cheaper than, and it was straight from me. So I even think that his was more pure, right? Because since he was getting it straight from the source, he didn't have to mix it with anything. But the others were cutting exactly, and I think that was what was harmful. Hey guys, don't do coke. I am not advocating for it.
Don't do coke.
We're just talking about a guy
do any hard substance
who was all about his business, right? So I mean, just some of the things that American Gangster, it delves into like power, corruption, loyalty, and then the blurred lines between good and evil, obviously, which Femi is having a hard time
trying to sort out in her mind.
Yes.
But Frank Lucas wasn't the model citizen.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah.
So I think we can dovetail into the last movie now.
Yeah. Because it's somewhat like someone has the same.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Because it's also good versus evil.
Yes, exactly.
But you kind of like them. I have this question for you though. So before we deep dive into Femi, do you agree?
Yeah.
That Al Pacino and Robert De Niro look alike?
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
The only way I can sort them out is that Robert has a mole on his face.
He's much taller.
If I don't find that mole, I can. Sometimes I'm like, who is this again? Okay, this is him.
Robert De Niro is handsomer, if that is a word.
That's not a word.
Okay, he's more handsome.
Exactly.
He's better looking. Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
I think Al Pacino too is. He's.
I'm not saying he's not fine, but Robert De Niro is better looking.
You think?
Yeah. And he has more of a... Robert De Niro has more of a swag to him. Like, Al Pacino is just kind of rough. And,
he's rough. He's probably... He will fit right into Gen Z if he could. I mean...
Al Pacino.
No. Didn't he just have a baby?
Well, yeah.
At 83?
Robert De Niro too also just had a baby.
Yes. Just had a baby at 79 as well. Those men, best friends.
I know, right?
50 years of friendship, and they're still slugging it out.
Yeah.
So straight into the movie. Do you care to share the synopsis?
Heat, the movie starring Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, is it's like a thriller crime movie, right? That looks into the lives of two men that are on opposite sides of the law, right? On one side we have Neil McCauley, who is played by Robert De Niro, who is an expert robber. Let me say armed robber. Expert thief. Okay, let me use the word thief. And then we have, Vincent Hanna, who is played by Al Pacino. That's the detective, who is also, like one of the best detective cops in LA, right?
The lieutenant.
He's a lieutenant, right? Yes, he's a lieutenant. And obviously the movie is about Al Pacino's character, trying to catch the bad guy who is Neil, and obviously if he catches Neil, right, like his dad's going to be like a gold star, because Neil is one of the prolific, robbers in his time.
Yeah.
And it was Vincent Hanna that actually took down the Oga at the top before Neil, right? So it was his mission to make sure that he caught Neil, so that he can get his gold star and whatever. And just again, like you said, it's just kind of like American Gangster, where you have a cop, who thinks that, I'm trying to bring justice to the world, right? And then we have on the other hand the bad guy,
the Neils of the world,
who we're kind of rooting for.
I was rooting for Neil because I really liked him. He was a gentleman thief.
That's what they used to catch us, because of his swag, because of his charisma.
No, but he was cold-blooded, but a caring, cold-blooded killer. I don't know how to tell you if that makes sense, right?
He only cared for himself.
Yes, so he had this rule that
if
you can walk away from something in 30 seconds.
If you can't, yes.
No,
if you can't walk away from something.
If you can. I think it's if you can walk away from something in 30 seconds, then you shouldn't be by that thing.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
So,
something like that.
So don't get attached to something you can't walk away from in 30 seconds.
Yes, in 30 seconds or something like that. And
I'm thinking about it.
Yes, because I mean, I liked him because he cared about his crew.
Yes, he did.
Even when he was robbing people, then, he would hit you and say, sit there, let it bleed out.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen if you let it bleed out.
Yeah.
Lie on the floor. But if you have a heart condition, place your back against the wall.
Yeah.
That was, so he had like his moments and all of that. But what I didn't like about him was he could never let anything slide. And that's the thing with beef, right? So if you are digging a grave for someone, you better just dig yours right at the side, because that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
And that's why that happened to him at the end of the day. If he was the sort of person that could let things slide, right, he probably wouldn't have, and he wouldn't have ended up the way he did.
Sure.
Vic, on the other hand, as well, that one too.
I feel like he didn't have anything to lose, right? Like, I mean, and that he was on his third marriage. So
exactly, he had lost a lot of things.
Yeah,
and it was not really a lot of. It was as a result of the love for his job.
Yeah.
The movies that we watched this week just kind of like teach you about compromise. Yeah. Pretty much, right? Because you should be able to find a balance between your passion and your life. If there is no balance, because for Vic as well, 3 marriages. Yeah. And then he ruined the last one, literally. Because all he could think about was Neil. Yeah. Or all he could think about was his job. Yeah. Very, very troubling. I like.
But I think one thing about that is that he knew what he wanted. I feel like love and marriage were just on the side for him. He was more about.
Then he shouldn't have put people in.
Yes, exactly.
No, he should not have married.
Lonely one of these days, and he was like, maybe I need a wife, or maybe I need.
Yeah, but that wasn't fair to all of the women that he married, right? Definitely. Since he knew that he couldn't manage both, and he loved his job more than his life, safe.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even have bothered getting married in the
I was just reading
place.
random reviews about the movie, and something somebody said struck me was that the movie is about being a workaholic, right? Because that was all they could both think about.
Yes.
Neil was always thinking about the next goal, how we're going to do the next goal, what's going to happen in the next goal. And then, Vincent and I was thinking about how am I going to catch this guy? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And they're both willing to like what's the word, to do whatever it takes.
Don't worry.
to get their jobs done, right? I mean, and I think that's something that we both,
life of a workaholic.
Yes, right.
We're now trying to find a balance. At least I am trying to find. I'm trying to find a balance.
Yeah, there's balance somewhere. There's some balance in my life.
Trying now. We're trying.
You're trying. Yeah,
I'm trying my best. No, we're not there yet, definitely, but we're heading in the right direction, hopefully.
Yeah. But we're not going to like kill people to get what we want, right? So we're not that bad. So.
We're not that bad, but we need to find a balance. I liked the part that they met up at the coffee shop.
Yes. Yes.
And they were kind of like low-key admiring each other.
Yes.
Like, you're done in your own world and I'm done in my own world. I really liked that part.
Oh, do you remember I think it was 2 scenes before that where, Vincent, the lieutenant and his guys, they were in like a dockyard. They were in the dockyard, and they were thinking that they had finally caught
them,
what they were about to do. Them. And then next thing, it just clicked to Vincent that no, guys, they are watching.
They are watching us. We're not watching them. That was good.
And they now took us to like the rooftop or somewhere, and we could see Neil, taking pictures of them. Right, so that was very. That
was good.
Yes,
I like movies that kind of tests. A good, or let me rephrase that, right? A good movie is when you're kind of almost rooting for the good guy. I mean, rooting for the bad guy, right? Because at the end of the day, I was just saying, hey, God, don't let them catch him. Hey, God, don't let them catch him. Hey, God, don't let them catch him. And they still, it was bad. I felt so bad. Even Vic felt a bit bad. You don't think so?
I think he did, because he got to know more about him in the coffee when they had coffee, right? And they found out that they had a lot of things in common.
Yes, a lot.
It just so happened that they were
on opposite sides.
On opposite sides, right? I mean, if they were on the same side, they could have been best friends.
I think so.
They're probably in each other's team or whatever, but it just so happened that,
And look at that guy. that, let me just take you back to that black guy. I've forgotten his name now. The one that just got out of jail, and then went on parole, and then he was working in one grill house, and the guy was really mean to him, and you know, just generally being mean and telling him that he's going to take 20% of his salary.
Yes, can you imagine?
So if the guy was nice, he probably wouldn't have gone out with them on that last score, and he wouldn't have died. I mean, all he did was to just drive. They've shot him, he's died. And he just died like that. So I'm like, hey God. And his wife or his girlfriend was the one that was trying to push him to just stay at the job and all of that, and she had to find out on TV that he had died. That was sad and unfortunate, you know.
And also speaking to Robert De Niro or Neil Macaulay's caring Sha. Remember when Val Kilmer's character, he had an altercation with his wife and he had to move out. And then he now went to meet, he went to his wife where she was frolicking with somebody else. And he said, you better give him another chance.
Yes.
You know, and I didn't quite get that part, but then I realized that he was trying to save his score, right? Because if she had broken up with Val Kilmer's character, the whole heist would have been
because it would have been
impacted,
emotionally unbalanced of some sort.
So I mean, that's why when he said he was caring, I was like, I think he really cared about himself. He didn't really care about.
Yeah, but he showed some signs of just being caring generally, right? And
I preferred when he didn't have any girlfriend, because he got sidetracked when he now started falling in love. I'm like, he did. He didn't
need the girl. But then at the end of the day, him being who he was, he ended up like, I still need to go and kill this guy.
Yeah.
And then they were already on their way to the airport and nobody would have caught them. Obviously, he can't let things slide. And then he had to go and kill that guy. And then he still ended up leaving the girl that he had gone to go and look for in the first place. So if he had killed the guy then without going to look for the girl, maybe they won't have caught him. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So he just overruled his mantra way, you know. If you can't walk away from something,
because he ended up walking away from her eventually. So he should have done that in the first place. So I guess we can rate the movie.
What are we rating? Like, you have to watch this movie.
Exactly, you have to. It's really good.
You have to watch it. Again, it's one of those movies that, it blurs the line between doing what is right and what is wrong. I was just looking through the internet, and a lot of people also, they were like, after many watches, initially they were rooting for the bad guy, but then after watching it for like 5-6 times, they're like, I think I'm rooting for Vincent because he's doing what is right. Like, it's not right to rob a bank.
It's not right
because the guy was rich, not as if he was poor. Like, Neil was rich, right? So and then
but the last score was because Val's character had asked that he needed one last score because Neil could have just gone ahead to run away with his babe and all of that, right? And then that other guy that had a wife could have just gone. Yeah. And then he just said, no, the kick is in the score, something like that. Or he was the first person that died. And I was so angry for his wife, on behalf of his wife, to say, see this guy. Last part. At first, I thought that Val Kilmer's wife, did I get his surname? Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Kilmer,
yeah. Was going to put him in trouble. And then when he got downstairs, I said downstairs, when he got out of the car and then he looked up and then she kind of like signaled with her hand because I was like, hey God, she's not going to put him into trouble. I
didn't think of her as that.
No, but she was going to do that at first. But so eventually love won.
So can you say this movie is about love? No, it's not about love.
I think maybe, is it about love? I think maybe about don't be too much of a workaholic, Joe.
Yeah, sprinkle.
Yeah. Let there be work-life balance.
Yeah. Definitely, that's
and obviously don't go stealing. Stealing is not good. It's in one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal.
True. Even if you think you're doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
And that brings us to the end of this episode 3.
Yay!
Time goes by so quickly when we're having these conversations.
I
Like, I
know.
don't want it to end, but our producers are already giving us side eye, saying round up.
So yeah, guys, we need to close out.
Yeah.
So this was fun doing this with you, Femi, as always.
Same here. Hope you guys learned a thing or two, and you go and watch the movies or not, or you're just happy listening to our voices. So
That'll be good either ways.
Yeah.
Right? Either listening to our voices or watching the movies.
Yay!
Yeah.
And it's a wrap.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.